Student completion rules are a great option if you'd like your students to be able to work through things in a specific order. It's great for rooms that are using flipped classroom models, where you want the students to learn and demonstrate understanding and then move on when they're ready to. So student completion rules can apply to individual assignments within a folder, or they can apply to multiple folders. So here in this case, I have my research tools folder where the students are completing a research assignment. Once I have a few items in there, if I click on options and go to student completion, it's going to allow me to designate what I want the students to do with each item inside of the folder. And I'm going to say that I want the requirements to be met in a sequential order within this folder. So I will designate what order things have to be done in. If I click Add Requirement, I would see the 4 items that are listed inside of my folder. Depending on the type of activity that it is, then my choices over here will be different. In this case, it's just a page that I want them to view, so my only option is to view the item. Okay, and I have a couple things that are like that, so I'm going to go through. I want them to learn about Creative Commons first, then I want them to take a look at finding copyright-friendly media, then I want them to do a little bit of research on this website from National Geographic, and lastly, I'm asking them to actually submit their research paper. Okay, and so you see here that I have more choices with this one. I don't want the students just to view the item, nor do I want them to just post a comment or reply. I want them to actually make a submission. Notice here though that I can also require that they score at least a specific score before it'll allow them to move on to the next folder, okay, or the next item underneath this if there were more items in the list. But in this case, I just simply want them to make a submission. And when I click Save Changes, I'll be able to tell as the teacher what my requirements are next to each item. Okay. I also have a Student Progress button that we'll take a look at once one of my students actually starts to view some of the work in here. So I'm going to reload my page from my student view, and you can see that as a student, only one of the items in this folder is actually clickable. I can't click on copyright-friendly media. I can't click on my research paper, okay? I have to go to Creative Commons, and it's telling me that I have to view the item. So the student would click on and they would read through all the different activities here. Of course, they can still pop this out into its own window. They can use the next button to move on to the next item in the list, or they could go back to the folder itself and they can see, oh, you've already viewed that item and you've already viewed that one, so now this one is ready for me to go ahead and click on. I would complete my research, and of course I can pop that out into its own tab if I wanted to, but when I'm ready, I can go ahead and hit Next, and I can submit my assignment here. Okay. Now if the students are doing something inside of the Google Drive Resources app, I would have them go to Resources and Apps and select it from Google Drive. They do have to authorize it the first time that they utilize this Google Drive Resource app. Okay. They could also use the Create button and use the Insert Content and go to Google Drive Resource app there as well. So just multiple ways for your students to complete the same task. But our main idea here is that we wanted to understand that students have to complete things in a specific order. Okay. And over here, it would see, they'd be able to see what they've done and what they still need to do. So I'm going to come back over to my teacher view, and I'm going to refresh my page here, because now I can take a look at my student progress. All right, and so if I click on student progress, I can see that one of my students is 75% of the way through this folder. So it just allows you to kind of keep track as to who's where and who's completed what in a folder full of assignments that have completion rules assigned to them.